Good morning, everybody. As a chaplain, one of my favorite chapels of the year is actually this, the first chapel of the year. I get to see how all of you have grown and changed over the summer, and I get to welcome a brand new class of fourth graders, which I would have gotten a special joy from this year. But alas, no. The current year is being the current year, and since we can't Zoom everybody into one meeting, I don't even get to see and interact with you all digitally. Nevertheless, we will press on, brave believers. Press on, press on. So I want to share a little secret. Are you ready? You may not believe this, but like students, teachers get the jitters before the first day of school. What do I mean by the jitters? I mean that nervous or excited anticipation of what is to come that sometimes makes it difficult to sleep the night before the first day of school. Since I can't go around the chapel and ask you all what you're most excited about or what you're most nervous about with regards to starting school, I want all the homeroom teachers to pause the video right now. Well, I mean, not like right now, but like when I'm done, and ask your students and answer yourself this question. What are you most excited about or what are you most nervous about with regards to starting this school year? Go ahead and pause the video now. Well, what makes me nervous, or perhaps the best word is anxious, is starting every new school year is meeting and connecting with new students. While I teach only high school, every year there's a brand new batch of freshmen for me and my fellow high school teachers to connect with, and it makes me a little nervous. Now, you may not believe this about me, but meeting new people gives me anxiety. Perhaps some of you can relate to this. I'm perfectly happy to stay by myself at home in Wahiawa, reading a book, playing a video game, or working out without having to interact with human beings outside of my family. Well, besides starting the school year or meeting new people, what about some of the other things that can give us anxiety? I mean, in 2020, we certainly have much to be anxious about. I mean, the number of COVID cases seems to be steadily rising in Hawaii, which could potentially lead to another lockdown. Maybe your mom or your dad or both, or maybe other people that you care about are currently unemployed and have still yet to receive assistance, or maybe they're worried that the assistance just isn't going to be enough. Frankly, doesn't it seem like the people in charge, red, blue, purple, chartreuse, whatever, doesn't it seem like they don't know what they're talking about or what they're doing about anything? How can we deal with this anxiety? Well, we're not the first people in existence to experience anxiety. In fact, the Bible records a crucial moment in which the apostles were about to experience a great amount of anxiety and distress, and Jesus spoke to them in advance of their tribulation. Now, the apostles and Jesus had gathered to celebrate the Last Supper, and as part of Jesus' last words to them before he was arrested and crucified, he said the following, recorded in John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Now, the first question we should ask, if we're looking at this verse in isolation, is what are these things that Jesus has told them? Well, in the verses before this, Jesus basically tells them that they will no longer see him and that they will be scattered one from the other. And very soon they will weep and mourn, even though according to Jesus, their mourning will be short-lived. He's basically telling them, I'm telling you that some bad things are about to happen and that those bad things won't last long. So have peace. Now, I don't know about you, but if someone told me that a bunch of bad stuff is about to happen, but it would be short-lived, I would have a hard time not focusing on the bad part of that statement and then ignore the fact that it wouldn't last all that long, which is why Jesus draws their attention to him. In him, they will have peace. As long as they focus on who Jesus is and what they have witnessed him do, they can have peace in his assurance. I love how honest Jesus is. In this world, you will have trouble. Not only is he referring to what will happen in just a few short hours, he's telling them about the trajectory on which all of their lives are. All of the apostles, with the exception of John, died proclaiming the gospel. And John's own brother James would be executed by Herod not too long afterwards. He is not selling them a picture of sunshine and rainbows and unicorn flatulence. Jesus is being very real with them about both the situation, trouble and persecution, and the antidote, the peace that comes from belonging to him. So, what do we do when faced with impending trouble? Well, while the situations that we might face might be different from those that the apostles faced, the words from Jesus still ring true. Take heart. I have overcome the world. He's essentially saying, yes, the world is going to throw all kinds of bad stuff at you. But you know what? I already defeated what the world can throw at you. So as long as you stay with me, you'll come out all right. Jesus is kind of like that big brother who has already beaten up the playground bully. If the bully messes with you, just remind him who your big brother is. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but you can take small steps every day to take heart. The phrase take heart essentially means to have courage. And while that may seem like an insurmountable task, you can do it. Nelson Mandela said, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Lucky for us, Jesus has already conquered that which we ultimately have to fear, death itself. We just need to place our trust in him. Because of that, in spite of all the trouble going on around us as we start this brand new school year, all the trouble that Jesus said would happen, we can take heart. We can have courage because Jesus, our big brother, has overcome all of that trouble. May you and I develop courage as we endeavor to succeed in this school year. Amen.